I've enjoyed making bike related projects in the past. So for this one, I thought I'd start with the original bicycle, the Penny-Farthing. You can actually buy these as a kit now. They come in this huge box and take just over an hour to assemble. It has a 56-inch wheel and a seat stands at over 5.5 feet. I knew straight away this was going to take some practice. While searching for the big Penny-Farthing, I found these smaller Penny-Farthings with 26-inch wheels on Facebook Marketplace. These would help us practice, as well as being a lot of fun. By the time we got them home, it was late at night, and we determined the best place to practice was in the kitchen. They have fixed ball hubs, so take a bit of getting used to.
Oh, look on the inside! What the hell, mate? That's it. This is my record now. We got it, boy!
After a bit of practice, we were getting there. Well, nearly. Now, these were great fun. However, you know I'm a sucker for an electric scooter wheel. It's time to say goodbye to the Hello Kitty. Farewell, some happy memories. The 350 watt Hello Kitty wheel didn't quite fit, so I used some threaded bar to try and stretch out the axle mounts. Once the wheel and electronics had been fitted, it was fully working. Well, except from the bell. And show us your bell. Spoon for the bell.
Sign up for this.
Come on, Scrooge! And as fun as they were, there was a clear problem of having fixed hubs on such small wheels. But it was for this reason that the Penny-Farthing's wheel got so big in the first place. So how did the Penny-Farthing get to be so big? Well, it's actually to do with the hub. You see, back then, they didn't have the technology to create chains or freeze-ball hubs like you see today on bikes. The cranks, however, are connected directly to the wheel, so every one revolution with your legs equates to one revolution of the wheel. Now with a larger wheel, you'll travel further with each revolution, and therefore you get to go faster. So the main reason they built the Penny-Farthing was to go faster. I'll demonstrate this now with the smaller one going past and the big one, and just look how fast my legs go. So what about the name Penny-Farthing? It's actually from the currency at the time. The large coin was called a penny, and the small one was called a farthing. To overcome the pedal issue, now that the smaller ones were going much faster, I managed to find a freewheel hub. It was originally designed for a drift trike. I took it to a bike shop and switched the hubs around. Now that I managed the small ones, it was time for the big one. The practice paid off, and I managed to get the hang of it quite quickly.
Okay, let's go.
Once I was on, I was amazed at how stable it was. Being such a large wheel gives you plenty of time to correct for any issues, which is good news because I don't fancy falling off. Getting on and off though gracefully is a whole nother challenge.
Yeah.
Tom was next up, and it wasn't long before he got the hang of it.
Oh, it's not a bad attempt.
Wait, I'm gonna... A Penny-Farthing yacht. Oh, you new kid. You're right, new kid.
Oh my god, please don't die. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Oh, it's so good.
Well, it's safe to say Tom enjoyed that, because later that night he bought his own. Initiate the chaos. Uh-oh. The mini electric Penny-Farthings were so much fun, I thought I'd apply the same principle to my big one. I plan to use my 3 kW hub motor from my drift trike. With 72 volts, it'd be good for about 40 miles an hour. The rear wheel on the Penny-Farthing is mounted using front forks off a normal bike, so I bought a spare set. The hub motor is made for a rear wheel, so it have to be made to be wider. After breaking my notcher, hacking away with a hole saw, and some questionable welding, they were just about complete. So I've had a bit of a nightmare trying to get them straight, and you're not allowed to look here, still hot, or here. I've basically, because they were on a bit of a taper themselves, when I've put the hole saw through without my notching device, it didn't go straight. So when I've mounted it onto the actual forks, it was bad. I've just tacked these in now and I'm going to weld it, and I'm going to have to grind it down so it doesn't look like a 4-year-old's made it. By no means the prettiest welds, but it did work. Even with my grinder, I don't think I could cover up the bodge here. Go on, in you go. I had to change the handlebar to allow the throttle to be mounted. I think though being shorter, it's going to make this even harder to ride. With all the components on, it was ready for a test. Why does this happen every time?
Course is backwards.
Lift the whip. Oh my god. Oh, we didn't reverse the wheel. The wheel was backwards. I tried changing the sensor wires around with no luck. However, there was an easier way. This is how we're going to fix it. Just going to turn it around like nothing ever happened. Here we go. And the cable's still long enough as well for the brake. And we never talk about this ever again. What have we made?
You'd have to use the motor, aren't you?
Oh my, this is so much harder with small handlebars.
You're not using them? Oh, there we go.
After messing around with the sensor wires, the motor was intermittent. However, this wasn't my only issue.
Oh, jeepers. She's wobbly. She's really wobbly. I've had an incident. I forgot to do the bolts up.
Oh dear.
It's these bits here. You can see, like normally you have the torque arms usually on e-bike motors, so you don't flex within the sort of mounts.
Yeah.
I thought as I'm not really going to be going silly speeds, it'd be okay. I was wrong.
So it spread the things apart?
It spread them apart, yeah.
Oh, right.
I just thought, I didn't tighten it up. I was like, I'm pretty sure I tightened it up. And it turns out I have, but these just bent. And these are high quality forks, they cost me £8.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Almost as much as your brake caliper. How much was that? £11?
For 2.
Hello, good sir. Welcome back to the workshop. Compare that one.
Wow.
I pressed the mounts back together and decided I'd make it stronger, welding on some iron flat bar. It wasn't going to be pretty, but I think it would do the job.
Test day number 2.
Oh my god, this is so scary. Speed wobble! Oh my days, I'm terrified.
Now I've ridden a few crazy contraptions, but this one did scare me. I think the wobble was being caused by the flex in the frame. You can see here in the slow-mo as the wheel gets grip, it's pushing back and forwards, caused by the torque of the motor. I want to go faster in the future, so I think I'm going to manufacture my own frame to be more rigid. Speaking of going faster, I've applied to the Guinness Book of World Records with the aim of doing a speed between 65 and 80 kilometers an hour. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.
Hello, Penny Farms, how are you? Right?
Yeah, I'm alright. How you doing?
Did you that play circus, mate?